Okay, so let's get up real close and personal. Oh, sorry for the great camera footage, but 2 bolts here. Where's that other bolt? Is this the bolt? Okay, so here's your front bolt for the lower control arm. So guess what I had to do? I took, for the inner tie rod, I took the little clamp off the boot. And then, if I had the other wheel off on that side, I would take the sway bar end link off the strut. And this way I can push the sway bar up, which would allow this to go, because look, this is hitting the sway bar, not allowing me to get more articulation. But if I was to put the sway bar higher, I could take this, hold it up higher, and when I'm pushing, I don't know if I could do it with one hand without making everybody sick, but if I'm pushing this all the way in, squeezing it all the way in, look what you see there. You know what that little black hole is right there? Right there? You see it right there, the little hole? Right there? Ooh, right there. Nice and tight still. Well, you know what that hole is, right? That's the lower control arm hole, which means that you just get this out of the way like that, and the bolt comes right out. 18 millimeter, the nut stayed on. So in all reality, this fucker should come out. But since I only have one hand, and I'm not good at doing things with one, well, not good at doing things with one hand, well, let's rephrase that. I'm not doing automotive things good with one hand. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this out. Probably not. All right, so let's get this out and stop making people nauseous. All right, we're back on the lava car. So the door damage, quarter damage, and as you can see, the front damage. And as you can see here in the front, here's the spindle damage. How that didn't break, I don't know. Look at this angle. Hub seems good, but I ended up getting new hubs. Look at the 90-degree bend on this lower control arm. Rip the ball joint out. Here's the ball joint socket, and then that's the new one right there. So this screw here goes right there, so I don't lose it. Okay. And strut, look at the strut. Strut is like that. That's supposed to be straight. So we're gonna need new strut bolts. We're gonna need new hub bearing. I have them. So I ended up getting hub bearings and control arms off Marketplace for a good price. So this is going to be my biggest concern, fixing this, but I want to get it to be a roller. So before I get it a roller, I'm going to pull this forward so that I can put a wheel on it to get it rolling, because I don't want it blocking the garage. I got to get Francesca out. She's got to be finished. All right, till the next segment. All right, we're back. So lower control arm is held on by 2 of these bolts in the back right here, 21 millimeter. Okay, that holds on the lower one right there and there. This one, guess what? It's held on by that one bolt there and that one nut there. And guess who's in the way? Mr. Steering Rack. Hey, Mr. Steering Rack, can you please get out of the way? I honestly don't think that that bolt is going to come out if I turn the wheel all the way the other direction. But we are going to try, because why are we going to try? Why? Because I am going to do my best to get it out. All right, so the best part is that's a 21 millimeter as well, but I cannot loosen this bolt even with this long wrench on there. So now that I got the strut out of the way, I give myself more working room. Let's see what happens. All right, let's come back to the next one. This video is going to be a short one. If I get this control arm out and I put it back in, that's all it's going to be, is just replacing lower control arm. So anybody that needs to learn how to do it, you're more than welcome to stay. Hopefully I can get you guys done in the next 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Okay, so how is it that I can take my weakest wrench, and here I am loosening this up. Am I just crazy and that bolt is welded to the frame? Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm a stunad and it's welded to the frame, because it's not budging and moving at all. Okay, let's get this bolt out and I'll come back. So 18 millimeter takes that nut off. All right, till the next one. So let's get up real close and personal. Oh, sorry for the great camera footage, but 2 bolts here. Where's that other bolt? Is this the bolt? Okay, so here's your front bolt for the lower control arm. So guess what I had to do? I took, for the inner tie rod, I took the little clamp off the boot. And then if I had the other wheel off on that side, I would take the sway bar end link off the strut. And this way I can push the sway bar up, which would allow this to go, because look, this is hitting the sway bar, not allowing me to get more articulation. But if I was to put the sway bar higher, I could take this, hold it up higher, and when I'm pushing, I don't know if I could do it one hand without making everybody sick, but if I'm pushing this all the way in, squeezing it all the way in, look what you see there. You know what that little black hole is right there? Right there? You see it right there, the little hole? Right there? Ooh, right there. Nice and tight still. Well, you know what that hole is, right? That's the lower control arm hole, which means that you just get this out of the way like that, and the bolt comes right out. 18 millimeter, the nut stayed on. So in all reality, this fucker should come out. But since I only have one hand, and I'm not good at doing things with one, well, not good at doing things with one hand, well, let's rephrase that. I'm not doing automotive things good with one hand. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this out. Probably not. All right, so let's get this out and stop making people nauseous. All right, it's out. And as you can tell, of course, this nut is welded to the frame. Good job, Ford. And the bolt comes out through the front. And if you look at the frame don't look bad. So let's take a look at the bad part. Does anybody see it? Does anybody see it? Here's my old part. You can see right there. It's supposed to be not facing 96.7 degrees. It's supposed to be facing 16.2 degrees. But a lower control arm for any of the Mustangs 10 to 14 is the same. So I don't see Ford being that smart to say, hey, let's make different control arms. All right, so in the front, it's 1 bolt there, and in the rear, 2 bolts there. So let's reinstall this and show you how it goes in. Okay, so with a little persuasion from the pry bar, you get the front end. Now the back, I got 1 bolt in. Once I lay under it, I'll get the second bolt in, but in the front, I like to get my bolt started so that this way you can see it coming through the back, that I know that this is going to tighten up. And as you can see, the bolt is working its way in. Now I will leave this loose until the car is back on the ground. So we're gonna leave that at that. Came through the other side. Let's tighten up these guys so that this way, when this goes to the ride height, right, with the spindle and everything, but then we could tighten that bolt up. This way it doesn't ruin that bushing in there. So we'll snug up that, snug up this, and then we'll wait for our strut and our spindle, and then we'll call it a day for us. So maybe another minute. Okay, so 21 millimeter nuts are tight. That one's still loose. Once we put the strut in, and then we put our spindle in, we will be back in business. All right, so hopefully strut comes with the mail today, and I mean, not strut. Spindle comes with the mail today. I'll get the strut within the next couple of days, and then we'll have some new progress next week, but I don't see it happening because I got 4 or 5 good hours on the rear end of that car. And then I got to do the valve cover gaskets, tune it up, and then clean it underneath and see where, oh, change the transmission pan. And then once I do all that, then I got to clean it again, power wash it, and then see if we have an oil leak out of the rear main seal. All right, we are getting closer. So, one step forward, which is okay. All right, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, and hopefully if you're wanting to change your lower control arm, that helped you. I know I took a lot of pieces out that you're not going to have to, but your bolt here and your nut there, definitely got to remove that, and you definitely got to remove those 3 bolts to get it out. And you can do it with the rack in the car. My only suggestion would be loosen up the sway bar end link from the struts so you can move the sway bar higher up to give this inner tie rod a bit of angle to get that front bolt out. All right, thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you soon. All right, some bonus footage. So a couple of pulls with the engine hoist onto here, and it came up a lot. Not that it's perfect, but not bad. All right, that's all I could do today. This will be the next video, is Bodywork 101. LOL. All right, so we disconnected the battery because we're going to leave soon. So to correct the airbag light, I got another seat with an airbag in it. I got a new clock spring, new airbag. Had the RCM, which is under your center console, reset, and then he put his computer on the car and erased all the computer memory that the car had for the airbag, and now the airbag lights out. All right, so this is one step closer to being able to go to the body shop, and I've been working on this, and it's coming up. I need about another inch. That's what she said, huh? Dun, dun, dun. All right, this is just a quick update. Thanks for checking out my channel, and if you have any questions, show me a comment. I love reading them all 0 of them. Thanks. All right, we're back in the shop with the California Special. So, if anybody could guess what I am wasting my time doing, all 7 of you can tell me, but I'll show you. So, this was our issue. Dripping off the back of the pan, coming out back here somewhere. I honestly don't think it was a seal, because the seal looks pretty good, and it didn't have any oil there. But if you notice this and this, I have no clue at this point. But it was all wet here, all wet there. So rear main seal, 5 liter, and a GT 12 or 11, whatever year this thing is. So now I got to tighten the flywheel up. Oh, sorry, flex plate. And slide the tranny forward, and then put the dry shaft back together, put the cats back in, blah blah blah, flush the transmission fluid because it's about as dark as that oil. Probably trying to be wasted with all the miles that's on this thing, but who knows. Anyway, let's see what happens. Maybe this will solve my issue. All right, so I'm going to finish off this video with a quick little update of the lava car. So if you watched any of my prior videos, you saw the lava car as an accident car, hit in the front. This was pushed down and damage to the door, and the rear quarter panel of this fender was crushed. That section was crushed. So I've spent some time pulling the front frame rail back to where it almost should be where it is. But this is what's going to happen. This piece here is going to get all the spot welds are all going to get undone. It's going to get all cleaned up, and then all the spot welds in there are going to get undone and then cleaned up, because I am only, if I get a light, here's my difference now. You can see, can you see the hole right there where the thread is? Maybe see that little difference in the hole? So these guys line up nice. This is almost where it needs to be right there, but you can see that I'm still off. But my height is correct, because if you measure the distance from here to the ground and I measure the distance from here to the ground, it's the same height. But this is going to get changed, so I'm going to change it from here in the middle. I'm going to weld the piece in the middle. I'm going to change this piece here, change the front pocket, change that upper and change that lower. Save this piece and save the fender well. And then I just think I need to move it out towards the outside of the car. This way. Okay, good. All right, so there we go. We have a transmission mount installed into a automatic 5-liter Mustang. Supposedly transmission mounts are all the same for the V6 and the 4-cylinder and the V8s, which is understandable. But just tighten it up the best you can. I'm going to just run a quick little wrench on these guys because I don't remember how tight I made them. And this car is good to drop on the ground and let it run for a little bit and see what kind of leak I got, because this was a rear main seal. Rear main seal was dripping. Pulled the tranny back, put it all back together, let it run for a while. It's a lot drier than what it was. I think I still have a little residual oil left over from being dirty, and maybe it might need a pan gasket, but other than that, it's much better. All right, quick 2011 Mustang with the 5 liters. Transmission mount replacement. All right, thanks for checking in. Okay, 15 millimeter. Let me get that turned off. So let's get this next project turned off. It's been running for a while. Sounds good. Oh, it's ice and cold in here. Happy with that one. Not a fan of the exhaust, but she's coming along. Okay, so let's get the whole point of this video back going. All right, so we got our 3 bolts in. I always start everything by hand because it's easier not to strip something out than it is to put it in with a gun and be like, oops, then you gotta tap it, and you gotta do all this stuff. So if you want to cut loose now, this is basically it. Transmission mount sits like that. It gets bolted into here, into the cross member, and you're done. Now I could do is I want to get my 3 bolts tightened first before I drop the transmission. This is just loose here, so these are not too tight. It's just enough where I don't have any stress on the bolts. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I could use a gun now, but that means I have to walk to the toolbox and get the gun. I don't feel like doing that. Okay, let me tighten this up so we're not killing each other. All right, so we're back. So all right, so here I got some light to light up the situation. All right, so we're gonna put the mount here. You see it's gonna sit here, okay? And then I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly lower it down. Oh, it's already touching. We don't want that. That's so I'm gonna hold it back. Let's put you guys closer. Now I'm gonna lower it down. Okay, so now we're loose, right? Okay. So let's go and get the 3 bolts. The 5. We got 2 nuts and 3. Right? Okay. So 3 go here. 1, 2, 3. 3 go there, and 2 go here. 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lift up until I'm able to, maybe I'll, all right. Okay, so something like that. So let's get a wrench. I think these were 15 if I remember. Let me double check, I'll be back. All right, we're back with the 11 GTCS, and we just did a rear main seal on it, and we came to find out that, oh, here we go. The old transmission mount, whoops, sorry charger. I'm sure you guys don't want to see that, but anyway, the old transmission mount was here. When we removed it, you can see it is broken. And now this is going to be the new transmission mount. So how do we install a transmission mount in a 5-liter automatic? Well, you got 3 bolts and 2 nuts. 2 nuts, 3 bolts. So let's go see where in the car it's going to go. All right, so this is an 11. Here's a steering rack, oil pan, and we are very dry from what we were experiencing. Have a little bit of oil, so I'm happy with that. And I have a little bit of tranny, so we're gonna do a tranny pan in this, even though I don't want to because of the mileage. But what you might notice is, here's my transmission mount. So I'm gonna get a jack stand here. I'm gonna place it under here with a piece of wood, like this type of wood. I'm gonna lift up the engine, the transmission, pull this piece out right here, and I'm gonna reinstall the transmission. 2 bolts go here, 3 bolts there, the 2 nuts there. I don't know if you can see it too well. Here's the cross member. Studs go through here, and the 3 bolts bolt into the back of the transmission here. So let me get this set up. Let me find a piece of wood, get that piece of wood out, and let's get the transmission together. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back on the lava car. We've got some new parts in the front. We're working on fixing the damage up here. And today we ended up installing cats in here. We got a little bit of a leak. Look at here, right here. Right there coming out. It must not be tight enough. Both sides exactly the same. I think these balls here are a little too big for the factory pipe. We might have to go with a bigger pipe because it's got big pipe, bigger ball, smaller flange, and then you can hear it. I got these things cranked all the way down, so, and when I put it together, I squeezed the exhaust and pulled it together with a strap. So this is the MBRP exhaust. You can hear how loud it is. Don't sound too bad. It looks good, but I'm not sure if I like it. So I might change it. So let me see if I can tap on it. Maybe I get it to seal. Sounded pretty good. Let's get my homemade muffler hammer made out of exhaust pipe. A little better, not that much. O2s are in. Everybody's looking good. Yeah, we need a new mid pipe.